I think we are live. So, I wanted to come in here today and talk about the next evolution of half-assed to hell yes. Now, this is a course that I have been teaching since about 2020. It started out as all about goals and goal setting and hustling with heart. And when I first started, diving into what it means to be devoted, to be committed, the reason why I did this was I was introduced to human design. And gate 29, which sits in the sacral center, happens to be my Saturn. Not only my conscious Saturn, but my unconscious Saturn in retrograde. It's a double banger for me. And so the way that I created my business is that every defined gate that really speaks to me, that's really part of my identity, is what I teach, right? We teach what's in our wheelhouse. So if you haven't grabbed what's in your wheelhouse, your human design personalized guide, highly recommend grabbing that, because even if you know nothing about human design, that is going to support you in understanding your energy centers and what's in your wheelhouse, what it is that you are here to share. So anyway, back to devotion and commitment and bhakti. So when I was moving into this in 2020, it was all about the mind. I was very much into my masculine. And so I was thinking about the masculine process of goal orientation and that. And so I'm just going to look at my notes here. So phase one was the discipline, the disciple of the mind. And so this was linear, this was masculine, this was logical. And then as I moved forward into this and I started diving deeper into human design, into quantum alignment, into so many different modalities, I started coming into the body. And it went through the body through the resilience keys of the quantum alignment system. And so when we look at learning how to be in our body, how to be resilient in our body, how to be able to flow, to be flexible, to trust ourselves, we move into the way that we make decisions, right? How are we deciding? How are we choosing for ourselves? We move into empowerment. Do I trust my power? Can I connect to my power? We move into vitality, right? Like, am I vital? Do I have the energy? And then it also takes so much courage to be able to stand in your power, to be able to choose for yourself, to be able to say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, and to understand the difference, right? So these are the resilience keys, the resilience work in order for us to be able to show up in our fullest, in our most authentic, in our most devoted selves. And so in 2023, I taught a masterclass, and it was all about the resilience and the resilience keys, and we did some forgiveness work. So if you're interested in that, it is in the Soul Prism membership, and you will be able to find it there under the half-assed. So this now is the third iteration, the third revolution, the third spiral of this half-assed to hell yes. This year, I've been really sinking into the feminine, like so much, in so many different ways. And as I've been moving into this, as I've been asking, as I've been listening, what's really stood out for me is that devotion hits a little bit differently. Devotion is your desire. It's your embodiment. It's the vows that you make to yourself and of yourself. And when you see yourself as a vessel and you want to support this vessel, to allow Source, to allow God, to allow the universe to work through you, to flow through you, that you understand how it is to connect to your way of deciding, whether it is through the sacral, if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, or if it's another way, if you're a projector, a manifester, or a reflector, right? Maybe you're splenic, maybe you're emotional, maybe you're ego defined, maybe you're mental, maybe you need to talk it out, maybe you need time to make these decisions, right? Understanding the way that you are designed to choose for yourself. I come from a world where, self-care was selfish, right? This is something that I've really had to work hard to deprogram, especially as a mother, a healthcare worker, somebody who's always puts other people ahead of me. And so this year, obviously, if you've been following my journey, I flipped it on its side and I'm doing me, right? I'm doing me. And so I choose for myself, right? And self-care isn't selfish. The reason why we really want to focus on ourselves so much more is that when we choose, when we decide, when we are so overflowing with love, with compassion, with charity, with just wanting to share with others, it hits so much differently than when we're doing it out of guilt, out of fear, out of shame, out of resentment, out of, commitments that are not even ours. And so on August 21st, I am sharing a masterclass, and we're going into the body. We're going into the body. We're tapping in to our own energetic field, our own desires, and we're moving from our body so that we can understand what it feels like to answer, to make decisions from, to listen, to follow that sacred yes. To allow your body to tell you, to share with you. And so I want to break down the discipline and then moving to the resilience and then moving into devotion and how we can kind of fuse this all together. And so one of the best ways to be able to share this is through creating an example. I went for a run this morning. I have a goal. That when I turn 50, that I want to run an ultra marathon. I want to run a 50K. When me and my best friend turned 40, we did the Spartan trifecta. And that was 40 kilometers, right? Over 3 races, but it was a 40-kilometer commitment. And with the it being a Spartan, we had to train. We had to train really, really hard. I had to ace my burpees. And having a goal like that, even though we may think that goals are masculine, are goal orientated, are expressive, are very logical and linear, right? Sometimes having a goal or something like that gives us something to move towards. I love big goals. It's just who I am. So for me, my goal is to be able to run a 50K. Now, the way that I want to feel about this 50K is that I don't want it to kill me. Right? I'm turning 50 years old. I don't want this 50K to kill me. I want to move into this 50K with excitement, with this feeling of capability. Like, I know that I can run it. And then I know that the holiday that's planned around the 50K, I'm going to be able to enjoy because I'm not broken from running a 50K. But a 50K is a pretty big dream. It's a pretty big goal. And so I have to not only see it in its linear way, but I also have to feel into it and connect to that feeling all of the time to keep it sustainable. So I'm just going to check here, make sure everything is good. We are still good. So the 50K, yes, I'm going to be thinking, okay, I'm going to have to reverse engineer the 50K. How am I going to train for this 50K? What plan, what formula, what training consistency am I going to plan? Am I going to train for this, right? And so when you are creating this, sometimes it can be very structured, because when we're structured, the structure itself is masculine, and we get to flow into it. We get to be the feminine. We get to be supported by this structure, by this goal, by this framework, right? So with this 50K, yes, I have a training goal. I'm working with a coach, for instance, for this 50K. And I have it stretched out in a very, very long way. In fact, I'm doing something called LIST training. It's low intensity training instead of high intensity training. So that this allows me to build capacity. This allows my heart to not beat so darn fast that it burns me out and I don't have energy for any of the other things that I want to do. So I am, as a Capricorn rising, I've got 2.5 years now to plan for this, right? And so I'm going to take my time. And that's just the way that I'm going to run it. Everybody has a different way of training. Now, I'm also tying this to 50K months in my business. And originally, I was very much, okay, I just 5K. 5K is all I need. Like, really, 5K is all that I need to survive. To pay for rent in an Airbnb, to travel anywhere that I want to go, to eat if whatever I want to eat, a gym membership, the stuff for my business. 5K, no worries, no problems. I can function on 5K. But this 888 portal that we were just moving through really showed me my patterns and how my patterns sometimes keep me small, keep me safe, keep me in that survival mode. And I did a meditation where I was, asking questions in the quantum. And a face popped up. Bob Proctor's face popped up. And I had to look him up because I didn't know who he was, right? He was just some old dude. I didn't know who the guy was. But the name Bob Proctor popped into my head after I saw his photo in my mind, and so I looked him up. And one chapter of his book, I was going for a walk listening to an audiobook, and one chapter really showed me that even though I live a very simple life, even though I'm a minimalist at heart, I don't really care about a lot of stuff. That's just not who I am. However, what I do care about actually costs a lot more money than I realized, right? In my business, I want to have a team to support me, and I want my team to do well, to be able to make money through the business as well. So I want to hire a team, and that takes money. I want to be able to travel. Now, of course, you've been watching me. You know that I can travel very, very frugally. not something I always want to do. Sometimes I want the really nice Airbnb. Sometimes I just want to hop on a plane, train, or automobile and just go without worrying about money. That takes some money, right? And so it just stretched me in that way. Things that are really, really important to me is fitness. I really love to move my body, and I really enjoy fitness classes. I really love to learn in a community. Even though I am self-motivated, I love to do this on my own. I love to be in community, and communities cost money. So it was all these things where I could see I was half-assing. I could see where I was like, doing the bare minimum. And that really wasn't lighting my sacral up. That really wasn't lighting my soul up at all. I wasn't excited anymore in my business. I wasn't excited about this amazing membership, this community that I've created with astrology and human design and gene keys and how to create a business within your passion. There's so much in this membership. There's so much. But I wasn't let up about it anymore because my goal wasn't big enough. I was still in that survival mode. I was still in that safe thinking. As long as I can squeak by, instead of how can I create a life that sets my soul on fire? How can I create a life that every single day I wake up and I'm so freaking excited to go live on Facebook and share about it, right? And so during this 8-day portal, looking at my karmic patterns, looking at these patterns and being able to transmute them, to shift them, to dream bigger, I judged a 50K month. I really did. I judged those people because to me it was like, why do you need all that kind of stuff, right? Like, why? I didn't understand. I didn't understand that, everybody's idea of luxury, everybody's idea of a dream life is very, very different. And so, during the 888 portal, that's what my focus was on. So that was a little bit of a big share, but this is the road to 50, right? The road to 50K, whether it's my road to 50K on my ultra marathon running or 50K in my business. I had to dream big. I have to have some discipline, some structure, some frameworks, right? Some processes in order to make this happen. Now, when we move into, as I say, the resilience, the spine, if we think about this discipline as the masculine, as the mind, as the head, the ideas, right, the light, being a disciple, then we move into the resilience. And when we think about the resilience, we think about our spine. We think about being flexible. How can I withstand the storms within my body, all the changes, and what's going on in the world? We have to be resilient. We have to come into the body. And we come into the body through the spine, through the movement. And so the mind alone cannot carry devotion. The body must feel it. You must anchor that feeling inside of you. And so, as I said, the 4 resilience keys that I worked with in the quantum alignment system is decisiveness, trusting my yes and my no. So for me, I'm splenic. You may be a generator, you may be sacral. This might be connected to your sacral. You might be emotionally defined, and you need time to process. You need time to decide, to choose what is right for you. You may need to speak it out, to hear it, to have a soundboard so that you can hear it and you can resonate with your voice that, yes, this makes sense. I finally got to it, right? You may need time. You may need time as a reflector if it's a big decision. Now, as I said, courage is another resilience key that we work with. And with courage, this is taking action even though you feel the fear, right? It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It is the courage to take that aligned action step, to trust if it is aligned, if it is a hell yes, if it is a sacred yes, and to take action regardless of what your mind is telling you, right? Regardless of what your mind is telling you, your ego. Because your ego wants you to stay safe, secure, homeostasis. That is the whole point of our ego. And yet, if you want to go further, if you want to stretch yourself, if you have hopes and dreams and goals and visions, then it takes courage. And then the third resilience key that we work with is empowerment. To stand in your power, right? The sacral center in our body is the center of our life force energy. Regardless of what energy type you are, it is the center of your chi, of your prana, right? Your life force energy. As a generator and a manifesting generator, it is self-generating. It is self-generating by you responding and taking action. Oh, that feels good to me. Yes. Yes, I want to do that. Yes. And you build the energy. You build the energy up. As a non-sacral being, a manifester, reflector, or projector, we take in that yummy life force energy and we amplify it out. Personally, I do energetic practices, qigong, yoga, meditation, breath work, embodiment, all of these different practices so that I can connect to the universal source of energy and amplify that out for short periods of time. Okay? So regardless, right, we have that life force energy. And so we need to be able to connect to it, to feel it in our body, to allow that energy to rise within us, to build capacity. And when we build that capacity, that fire within us, we have more energy. We have more vitality, which is the fourth resilience key, to manage and protect my life force energy. And so, do I feel like I have a lot of energy? Do I have more than enough energy? Am I overflowing? Do I have the energy to do the things that I need to do on the daily and more? So I'm training for this, this 50-kilometer race. I need to have the energy for my day-to-day, plus to be overflowing with energy so that I can train long hours. Like, let's be real. This is going to take me, 6 hours of running. I'm not fast. I'm not pretending to say that I'm fast. I'm not fast. So it's going to take me 6 hours. I need to build up that capacity to run 6 hours. In my business, I need to have the capacity to guide my team, to show up overflowing with energy for my soul fam, right? For my mastermind girls, for my dive-in divas, to create. I love to create. I love to create so much, but it takes energy, right? It takes energy to be a creatrix, for that energy to rise up your body. You need energy. Otherwise, it's going to hit your sacral and let's be real. So the third phase, as I said, was coming into the body. So once I, took the energy in through the mind, I moved it down my spine, and I started feeling it in my body, in my deep feminine, in that deepest receptive part of my body. I started being able to tap into my own desires, my own, not what I have an open head najna, right? Not how I'm being inspired every single day. Oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that. Oh, she's doing that. She's being successful. I should do that. Oh, she's training this way and her gains are massive. I should train this way. No. Tapping into your own energy. You're staying in your own lane. In order to do this, you got to be juiced up by your own desires. And this is what I was talking about when I said 5K wasn't enough for me. That was just scraping by, right? That was just scraping by. That didn't really light me up in any way. That didn't get me juiced up, excited for life, right? That's like, when you go on a date and you're just wearing sweatpants because you're just going to a movie, you don't even shave your legs. Right? Versus, that you're going to a fancy hotel for the night. You're going to shave your legs, right? You're going to wear something really nice. You're going to buy some laundry. You're going to put some effort into that, right? Into that experience. And it's the same with life, right? So I had to come into my body and into my breath, into movement, into touch, into sound, and but also into, like, those are your five senses, right? Like, what you can feel, what you can see, what you can taste. But come on, we're different here, right? We're different. We have extra senses, don't we? Like, you can sense when something is right for you. You can feel the goosebumps on your skin. You can feel the chills going up your body. You can almost feel the pressure, the crown opening up in your head sometimes, like a buzz. You can feel that electricity. You can notice all of a sudden these synchronicities, these coincidences that you've never noticed before, but they've always been there because you're attuned. Right? So when we're sinking into the feminine and the psyche and using more than just our five senses, but our extra senses as well, we start dropping in before we make commitments. Before it's that reactive yes, 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 yes. We're like, no, give me a second see if I really want to do this, right? We take that moment. We drop in, and then we listen to our body. We start recognizing our patterns, right? We listen. Is this a moment for expansion? Or is this a moment that I need to contract a little bit? I need to take some space for myself, right? So listening to our body, listening to our energy, instead of what other people, the expectations, the projections, the guilt, the shame, the comparison, all the other tools out there that turn us into martyrs, that turn us into prostitutes, right? Your energy is sacred. So this isn't about doing more, but this is about being more present in where you are right now, this moment, this second. Not thinking about the past, not thinking about what's going to happen in the future, but bringing all the timelines into right now and connecting to your body in that way. Is this something that I vow is important to me, that I'm going to commit to? I'm going to see it all the way through. I'm going to teach my body trust. I'm going to teach my body how to be safe in stretching my capacity. I'm going to teach my body that it's okay to want more because I am worth it. So the vow, I want you to make a vow to yourself. right here and right now. That I will listen and honor my body's wisdom. I will choose thoughts that serve my highest good. And I will follow what lights me up, even if it scares me. So, to recap this conversation, masculine is from the mind, right? Is from the mind. Discipline is masculine. Discipline is pushing through, no matter what, right? I have a deadline. I have something I need to hit, right? That's very masculine. Where when we move into resilience, we're learning about ourselves. We're learning about ourselves. Do I trust myself? Do I have the courage to follow through? Do I even know how to make the right decisions? And do I even have the energy to show up for life right now? And then with the feminine body, we connect to what really truly lights us up, what is important to us, not for other people. And it's not even always for the outcome, but it's for the experience, the journey that you are moving through. So that was a lot, but that's how I love to share. And if you love to receive in that way, then I really want to invite you to a free masterclass that I am sharing August 21st. I will share the link below. Please like, comment, share, all the good things. Ask any questions that you have, because I would love to answer your questions. I would love to help you, to guide you, to support you, to expand you, to inspire you. Show up for the class, and yeah, keep this conversation open. Comment, let me know, and let me know the best ways that I can serve you, because that's truly what I'm so excited about. That's truly what lights me up, actually, is moving into service. And that's the whole point of creating this lifestyle that I've created and becoming a digital nomad. Not homeless, Dad, a digital nomad. All right, that is it. I hope you have a wonderful day.